This is Naved Hussein with WBAI's Asia Pacific Forum. This is the interview with the brother Talal Ahmad. This is a part of the segment of Muslims in Ferguson. So, Brother Talal, thank you so much for joining us.
Alhamdulillah.
And just so, just a few questions I have here. Could you just please, obviously just introduce yourself, a little bit of your background, and how you got involved with the Ferguson protests.
First of all, I want to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to the Muslim world. Peace and love to everyone else who doesn't understand what that means. How I got involved in Ferguson, I want to make a distinguishment between like the marginalization that people try to, the media and other people who just don't understand about this whole concept of Ferguson. It's not a marginalization of Ferguson. What's going on in Ferguson is the same thing that has been going on in my entire life, my parents' entire life, my grandparents' entire life. This didn't start on August 9th. We have been at war since the day we were born. My demographic, my age group, my generation, kids who came before who were born in the crack epidemic. And so how we got involved, who were born. That's how we got involved.
Okay, thank you so much.
But you know what, I will elaborate as far as like Ferguson is concerned and stuff like that. And so what made Ferguson a thing, well, the reason that everybody's saying Ferguson is because it was a straw that broke the camel's back. It was this is enough. And another thing is this right here. My generation and the kids who are younger than me, we're not our parents. We're not our grandparents' parents, and we're not our grandparents. We are at an evolution. We are at a juncture in our class for people as African Americans. We are a new breed of African Americans. We have transitioned mentally, spiritually, intellectually to a demographic of people, a class of people. We're not afraid of white supremacy. We are ready, willing, and able to die for this because you're killing us anyway. How I specifically got involved in Ferguson. So, first of all, I have a house in Ferguson. So it was like at my front doorstep. Number two, it isn't just about what happened in Ferguson. In the entire St. Louis metropolitan area, this has been a thing. Us growing up being profiled, being excluded from most productive, desirable aspects of society, in addition to being poor, excluded from education, excluded from all the desired things that the privileged people who have sovereignty here in this land have and access to. On top of that, you're going to kill us. And so it really was nothing to think about. It really wasn't a choice. We're not choice activists. It wasn't something like, hey, we need to go and like support and stand in solidarity and organize around Ferguson. It was about, hey, enough is enough. We can't breathe, and we want to live, and we'll be damned if the kids who come after us are gonna live like this. And so that's basically how we got involved in Ferguson. How I got involved in Ferguson. And I think I know my experience was not unique. It was kind of like when as soon as like it came over on the airwaves and stuff like that. Like I live in Ferguson, so I was already there. Like people just start showing up. Like not the next day, not a couple hours later. Like when the boy did lay in the street for hours, but like as his body was still warm, people just like start leaving work, left class, pulling their cars over and massing in Canfield Green.
Okay. My second question would be, could you describe a little bit of the Muslim community in the Ferguson, St. Louis area? Who are some of the Muslims that were involved? What is, if you can just kind of answer that.
Okay, so let me see how I want to do this. Let's start off with the Muslims who've been heavily involved and organized around Ferguson. I mean, Bassem Masri, of course, everyone knows Bassem Masri. He's a global figure now, Palestinian American. Been down since day one, since August the 9th. Also, another socially excluded person from a socially excluded demographic who has been on the social justice scene a cop watching, speaking out on socio-political issues prior to August. But he's been down in Ferguson, in Cleveland, in Berkeley, here in New York, advocating for Palestine since day one prior to August, building solidarity and relationships between Ferguson and Palestine since August. His dad, Bassem Masri, has shown support in a lot of different ways. Although he's a lot more conservative than we are. I mean, he's 50 years old, for Christ's sakes, but he feeds people. He counsels people. You know, he tells niggas to calm down when it's time to calm down. You know, him being a Palestinian who fled Palestine, who fled Palestine in the heyday of occupation in the mid to late 70s when he fled Palestine. He's been through this before. So he gives us insight on how to deal with fascism. Mustafa Abdullah with the American Civil Liberties Union does Know Your Rights courses. He trains people to be. He helps out with the National Lawyers Guild and trains people to be legal observers, so that we have people out there who have a legal right to make sure that our constitutional rights are being violated, although they still are being violated. Although National Lawyers Guild legal observers are beat and arrested and gassed, just as we are. You got, you know, Rafiq, an African American brother in the Muslim community who's been down since day one. You know, sharing knowledge and trying to build a community between the broader Islamic community and the African American Islamic community, and you know, countless other Muslims who have showed solidarity and have helped around Ferguson. That, you know, I can't think of all the names right now, and for the sake of time, okay. There has been solidarity in the Muslim community in St. Louis. Okay. Now, what does the St. Louis metropolitan area Muslim community look like? Okay, so we have there's some dimension to it. Not as much dimension as, you know, a major metropolis like New York, where you got Muslims from all over the world living here. The St. Louis metropolitan Umar looks like a Bosnian community. It looks like an African community and a large Palestinian community. And then you have the African American convert community. And so we have we have a decent network of masjids throughout the metropolitan area. Historically, it has been a lot of controversy around culture, around race, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Around, you know, Arab Muslims. I'm gonna be totally honest, and I'm gonna be stepping on some toes here. Mm-hmm. Around Arab Muslims with their condescension and stuff like that, and a lot of times, first of all, I'm not painting all with one brush, because, like I said, you have people like Zuzi Masri who even calls his own people out on the bullshit. But you have the Arab Muslims who engage with the African American Muslim community in a very condescending manner, who try to act like they're stewards of this deen when most of them don't even practice the deen. Most of them aren't even religious people. Mm-hmm. Most of them have these stores in the African American community where they sell pork and liquor and exploit our women and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And you know, a lot of other things that, you know, time won't even permit to get off into. Mm-hmm. The reason that I want to emphasize and iterate this is because I think it's important for us, for that Umar in the St. Louis metropolitan area, to build more solidarity, to try to relate to each other a lot better, and to try to come to terms with this deen and the principles of it, and try to practice those better.
Okay. My next question is kind of a long one. Just let me phrase it out, and then maybe if you just take a stab at it. If you
Go ahead.
So during the militarized response to the peaceful protests in Ferguson, tear gas was launched at protesters. There were tweets in support by many Palestinians in Gaza,
yes,
who had just experienced the brutal onslaught by the Israel Defense Forces.
Yes.
The tweets gave advice on how to avoid the tear gas, as well as other statements of solidarity with the protesters in Ferguson.
Yes.
A couple questions. Were these tweets widespread on the ground? What was the response from people in Ferguson towards the tweets? And were there any connections made on the ground between the police brutality faced by African Americans in America and what Palestinians face under Israeli occupation?
Yes. First of all, Ferguson is Israel. I mean, no, what is Israel? Ferguson is Palestine, okay? Cleveland is Palestine. Berkeley is Palestine, okay? Uptown is fucking Palestine. Let's get that clear. There is no distinguishment between, oh, that's a Palestinian issue, this is an American issue. Like, I am a Palestinian, okay? My Palestinian brothers and sisters, they are Fergusonites. So let's deal with the whole advice and the tear gas and stuff like that. First of all, Salam alaikum rahmatullah, Palestine. Free Palestine right now, not later, right now. We appreciate all the advice, all the solidarity, all the techniques, because we weren't used to being gassed. First of all, it's illegal to gas people on American soil. We weren't used to being gassed, so the first go round with the gas, we were going home and taking hot showers and stuff like that, which intensified the anguish. And so thanks, to you guys sending all that advice, telling us how to deal with it, telling us to take showers in cold water, telling us how to make the concoctions to wash the gas and stuff out of our eyes because we were using water. And as you guys know, that intensifies the pain and the anguish and stuff like that. So the concoctions and all that stuff like that, and all the different techniques, how to get it out of your skin, get it out of your pores. I can't iterate how helpful it was and how much we appreciated that. And I mean, that's what's up. And I just want you guys to know, I'm not just talking here. Like, you'll never understand how bad, we on the ground want to get to Palestine and stand side by side with you guys. And that goes for the kids in Hong Kong as well, the kids in Mexico as well. And the only reason that, we can't get over there is, first of all, the restrictions, and then like our class and our social standards. We don't have passports. And if we did have passports, we don't have money to fly abroad and come over. But like, we're ready, willing, and able to die for sovereignty and for the right to breathe. And we identify with you guys, and we identify that you guys' struggle is not separate from ours, and we identify and we understand the fact that you guys' oppressors, the same oppressors that we have. And so if you can make it to Ferguson, come stand in solidarity with Ferguson, with the people in Ferguson, with the people in Berkeley, with the people in Cleveland. And if you know of ways for us to get over there, like, this ain't just talk. Like we're serious about this. We want to come and stand in solidarity with you guys, and help you procure your land back. That belonged to your grandfathers and their grandfathers and stuff like that. So I just want to say, y'all hold your heads, and thanks to people like Basim Masri, people like Zudi Masri, people like Colleen Kelly, who is back and forth between Ferguson and Palestine, who is like building these ties and connecting us with the organizers on the ground and stuff like that. That we have these relationships. And then for the other people who don't understand, who want to call, the kids over in Palestine terrorists and stuff like that, I want to say this. What makes a Palestinian rebel is the same shit that's happening to us on the ground in Ferguson. It's the same shit. These people aren't terrorists. These people aren't rebels. These are kids. These are women. These are mothers. These are fathers. These are brothers. These are sisters who are fighting for a right to live. They're being pushed off into the fucking ocean. What else do you expect them to do? What else do you expect them to do when someone's taking your home, your land, raping your kids, burning your kids, putting them in concentration camps, and you got entities like the Central Intelligence Agency, who is supposed to perpetuate freedom and democracy globally, putting people in all these secret camps and stuff like that, and then you want to call these kids in Palestine terrorists. Well, like I said, once again, I want you to understand this and digest this. What makes a Palestinian rebel, what makes a Palestinian rebel is the same thing that you're doing to us. The same thing you did to Mike Brown. The same thing you did to Tamir Rice. The same thing that you did to Akai Gurley. That's what makes a Palestinian rebel. The same thing that's making these kids rise up here in America.
Okay. This is going to be my last question. We know that the Ferguson issue is obviously a long-standing issue of systemic racism and police brutality against black Americans in this country historically. In fact, the police, much of the background of this, much of the foundation of police forces in this country come from slave patrols historically. Now, my question is what's going, we know there's an African American issue, is what is going on in Ferguson, in Cleveland, in Staten Island, all throughout the country, is it also a Muslim issue, given the fact that 1/3 of all Muslims in America are African American? And if it is, what should Muslims be doing to further understand, build connections, and promote social justice going forward, do you think?
Okay, so yeah, that's a deep ass question, and so let me
Okay.
process this.
Okay.
The-
One second.
yeah.